show coming from the RAC store. With this back in the Mac in the back flow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We RAC will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price. Giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Warrior with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack.
Good morning, RAC FM. It's 0800 EST, and what does it all stand for? Oh my god, tonight's gonna be a fucking banger. We've got Brian and his Kava crew absolutely invading the house tonight. This is gonna be quite interesting. It's a first, I believe, for RAC FM, and I'm really, really proud of that. So yeah, guys, it's Friday, 24th of March, 2023, and this is your daily Cosmos Crypto US Survey breakfast show with your host, Robo, the mayor of Rackville, and of course, your favourite pundits. We've got the wonderful Bbandz from the block up here co-hosting with Brucey Boy, a.k.a. Arnie. Get into the room. Anyway, that was a bad impression. Sorry, Bbandz. Hopefully.
Never do that again.
Okay.
It's for Bruce only.
Sorry, Mama. Sorry. So, yeah, obviously, Finn's not with us. If he does come in later, we'll be bringing him straight up, yeah? So, guys, yeah, on today's show, we're being joined by some brilliant people, but I will say hello to my co-hosts first. So, Bbandz, good morning, darling.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm excited you're back. Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing you back. So good to see you in the room again. I've missed you for a couple of days.
My heart was a little bit broken trying to get into the space, and it kept kicking me out. And at that point, I was just like, I felt so frustrated and actually a little heartbroken. Like I just wanted to listen. And it's annoying. So annoying.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, tonight's going as smooth as it possibly could. We haven't had one issue. So it's looking really good. And thanks for coming, Bbandz. Yeah, we'll have a big crack later on, right?
Thanks for having me. Yes.
No worries. And cheers for Brucey for organising this up, dude. I mean, hey, you're paying your keep, aren't you? You're earning, You're earning the crumbs, brother. I tell you, well done.
Thank you. I'm trying my best, man. I think Brian and Rebekka did a lot of this planning as well. So big up to them.
Correct. Well, that's exactly where we're going to go to now. Yeah, the wonderful AlphaGrowth guys. We'll get them in first. Just say like hello and good morning, guys. We're not going to go through loads of standard introductions, but you can obviously say who you are, what your position is, you know, maybe. Brian, we all know you anyway, so how you doing? Are you all right today?
Good, man. It's a little bit early. I'm just like drinking a little bit of Red Bull to like get like hyped up here. I'm super excited though.
What time is it over there, if you don't mind me asking?
8 a.m. I mean, I'm just not a morning person, but I'm pumped for today. Lots of work. I mean, I think first thing I would say is like this has been about 6 months of work to kind of get to this point of like we've like dove in and started helping Kava towards the end of September, and I'm just excited to like kind of like tell the story. I mean, a lot of misses, a lot of misfires, and now we're pulling the stuff together.
Lots of learning.
Yeah, totally.
That's definitely good. Yeah. Hey,
and Rebekka.
Yeah. Hey,
how long have you been with AlphaGrowth? Oh, no, right. How long have you been working with them, the guys?
Almost like 2 years actually. I think it's like a year and a couple of months, or like half a year. Like time is really distorted in cryptos. It's been like forever and not forever. But yeah, basically 2 years, and I started with Kava. Like right away. My first ecosystem that I worked with was Siur and Aurora, and like Kava was a really good another ecosystem to try, especially being EVM, and it's links to my previous experience. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys are really doing some stuff. I mean, I've been kind of blown away how quickly you guys have been able to accelerate things, It would have been interesting to see the speed of movement if you'd got your hands on some Atom. But we're going to slip that in the conversation a little bit later in the day if needs be. Oh, my goodness, guys, before we move on, Finn's here. Wow, you've got all four of us tonight, guys. This is an honour. Hello, Finn.
How much did you assholes pay Elon to fix Android for Twitter? And when did that get fixed? That's awesome. What's up, everybody? Good to see you all here at 5 a.m. Welcome.
My goodness.
See, that's
what a
early,
leg-
Brian. Like it's early for him. You said it was like 8 a.m. You'd be all right.
We'll get there.
Guys,
Well,
we actually have
sorry.
one more guest in attendance, ACryptoS. Whenever you guys can you please make him also a speaker?
I've been trying for the past 2 minutes, just sitting and accepting, and I accept them.
Maybe he should leave the room, try to come back in and see if it'll work. But I was having a lot of issues the other day trying to get into rooms too.
Yeah, let's just say it hasn't been Elon's finest moment. I think what about the last 10 days to 2 weeks of Twitter, then we've really, really seen it go bad. What about us guys questioning each other about access to the account? What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? And it was Twitter all along, down horrendous, right? What a waste of our time. But yeah, Brucey, keep your eye out, dude. If that guy comes back, get him straight back up, yeah? He might just be forced stopping his app and stuff, yeah? Right, Brian, I'll tell you what then. I've got some stuff for you to kick it off because I want to get something addressed and out the way quickly so we can just focus on all the positive stuff, right? So, Brian, do you want to do some introductions of even maybe your team, but the other people? Let's hear as well, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to tell us who we've got and they can say hello?
Yeah, so Rebekka has been key to AlphaGrowth's success over the last 2 years. She helps run biz dev operations. She's connected to over like 3,000 projects in the last 2 years. It's just like massive, amazing. So she's like head of operations, runs like all of the BD teams and all of the BD managers. So basically have like 10, 12 people that are reaching out, and we're rotating. It's kind of fluctuated. It's like depending on how many clients we have. We also have, I actually don't know how to, I know his real name. I don't know if I want to dox him. Siur from Equilibre. So he's the guy, he's the man launching Equilibre into existence that really drove a lot of activity and this kind of like velodrome fork kind of like play in DEX that's really driving a lot of excitement and activity to Kava. And then IntroToDeFi is the founder of Mare and Zone. Zone is on Optimism, and Mare is a similar like type of play that integrates with Equilibre on Kava, and that's going to probably be the champion lending protocol on Kava. Like it's what it's looking like right now. There's a couple more coming, but I think that's the one that has the most activity, the most users. We have some, kind of graphs. We've been tracking kind of the transaction level and the TVL level, and the TVL level is like handled by like DeFi Llama, but the transaction level after the Equilibre launch and the Mare launch is just gone bananas, right? And there's one more project too that I want to mention that's kind of really interesting. They're not here, but there's a project called Taro, and in the last 7 days, Taro, which is a leverage LP position pool that kind of helps like you manage your positions on Equilibre, effectively is doing about 100,000 transactions a week, which is like a huge amount of like transactions. So just the basic DeFi primitive of like a really good DEX and a really good money market like Mare and Equilibre are just really pulling more and more projects and more attention to the Kava ecosystem, which is pretty rad.
Well, it's had an injection of life like I don't think any of us have seen before. And it's really, really weird, isn't it, Brian, how not that many people within that like IBC industry like have even had any eyes, and this is like sneaked in like stealth, and a lot of people have like come in from outside like of the greater IBC, yeah, and have been doing very well and really enjoying themselves, right? It's quite, and I'm going to talk to you about the reason for that in a second if I talk here. But yeah, so we've got Slur, right? Let's just say hello there. Hiya, Slur. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Hey guys, yes, I believe you're talking to me, right? Yes, I'm Siur from Equilibre.
Sure. Sorry, my eyes are not very good, sir.
Yeah, pretty happy to be here, and yes, Brian said, has been crazy so far. Like we have been building for months, and scouting for projects to come to Kava, and it's pretty crazy to see it, taking life. Thanks to Mare, to ACryptoS, to Tarot, all the partners that we managed to bring here are really doing great, and I think we are making enough noise for Kava, so it's going good.
I think it's like a huge important point. Like we do biz dev, and these guys crushed it, right? They brought in 9 different partners to launch with, and those 9 partners aren't just like, they're not just like some ragtag, like, never done it before. They've brought in partners like with tens of millions and hundreds of millions of TVL, like, and so when just like kind of like followed like the Solidly and the Velodrome kind of like playbook, Siur and the Equilibrate team made it super easy to bring like a lot more activity and a lot more projects to the space.
Well, Brian, I don't want to jump ahead because obviously we've kind of there might be some of the audience, we're trying to penetrate some IBC audience, you know that as well, especially with the replayers, right, dude? But we'll get into a few things because some people might not be aware of like Velodrome or whatever. But we've got one other person just to say hello to, right, haven't we? IntroToDeFi from Sun Finance, yeah?
Hello, everyone. I'm Atakan, or IntroToDeFi on Twitter and YouTube, and I'm the team lead of Zone Finance and Mare Finance. Just wanted to appreciate your enthusiasm, by the way. Like, it's the most enthusiastic, entering to the space, and just loved your profile pictures, and happy to be here, happy to build on Kava, and it's going great.
Sorry, dude, that's fantastic. I didn't catch your name at the beginning. Sorry, what was it? I've got bad ears as well as eyes. You wouldn't believe it, though. What was your name, dude? How do you pronounce it?
Atakan.
Atakan. All right,
yeah.
Atakan. That's a nice name. Atakan. Yeah, great name, sir. I'll not be forgetting that one tonight. No worries. So, guys, we're going to be, getting down to it. We've got 4 of us up here. We'll all be, coming in with questions when we can. ACryptoS, we're trying to get you in, dude. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you've force closed your app and cleaned it, but I can tell you, dude, if you can hear me, and it might be cutting out, if you've got Android Twitter 5.8, that's the problem, dude. I don't think there's been an update, but we've kind of all went back to kind of 5.78, I think it is, or 5.76. That's how we're all
Not they dropped an update yesterday, and that's the one I'm on. I'm on the newest one, and it's working apparently. So maybe clear cache, try to check the update, see if there's a new one. If you're Android, and you should be good.
So honestly, he just contacted me. He will join from his personal account. It's gonna be CryptoBKT. So let's just look after him, and join. He can join after. Let's see.
Yeah, I just accepted his request. If it doesn't work, then try and rejoin the space and then wait for my invite.
Yeah, also guys, by the way, the Shadow is also a member of our team, so I believe that he might be willing to throw a few comments as well, maybe later on.
We got a whole party here going on. This is like a little crypto party, like Friday morning. Trying to pump that TVL.
Morning too, sir.
Yeah.
So, ACrypto, try and rejoin the space and wait for me to invite you up instead of requesting.
Yeah. Brian, you've heard of the RAC FM effect on the Friday shows, right? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we always have like a pump mid-show, yeah? But, dude, like, I want to address something and very quickly get something over and done with and out the way, if that's all right with you two guys, right?
Sure.
Right. Kava. Kava's had, generally speaking or historically speaking, and not a really good reputation for certain situations to do with validation sets, how it's been set up, the foundations, that side of things. Now, a lot of the inner, what I call like the inner IBC, honestly, guys, the vast majority of people in that ego are just really insulated, a lot of them, to what goes on like outside, honestly. It's taken them like 2 years to get out of like say IBC and start going looking around elsewhere, and trying bridges and stuff. A lot of people, right? Very like insular, yeah. And there's been this big thing about Kava for a long, long time, right? And Brian, I think you were speaking to Timmy, like when we first mentioned Kava to Timmy last week. He's like, "What? had that full thing, and it took them like ages to be like, okay, that might be, worth changing the opinion. So, Brian, for you, has that ever been a problem that there was a stigma around Kava? Did you pay attention? Did you pay it lip service or not? Or
No. I mean, like, I could go negative, I could go positive here, but like, let's just try to stay like equal. Like, I think one of the key things that got me excited about getting the contract with Kava and helping them out is that they are doing EVM. We've worked with Near, we've worked with a couple other like obscure chains where they're not EVM based, and it's hard. It is really, really hard to get developers on, and Rust developers and CosmWasm developers. The amount of like EVM and Solidity developers in existence is probably like 10 or 20 to 1, right? So if you just kind of think about like the application layer of like Cosmos, and it's like, okay, Rust or CosmWasm, or so Rust is like very permissioned, it has to like update to the core. And we talked to like Osmosis, we talked to Adam, like about helping it. It's like really, really, it's not a smart contract layer. The CosmWasm is a smart contract layer, but also that's just like not a common language. And so when Kava came out and they said, hey, we're doing this Kava Rise program, one of the things that the question is like, okay, where's this funding coming? And they did a lot of good treasury and capital preservation during the bull market. So they recognized there was a bull market and they took a lot off the table. So that was kind of like one. I was like, all right, cool. And like, how big is your treasury in the background? And it's surprisingly big as compared to some of the other ecosystems that we worked with. The other thing is that a lot of I'll go a little bit, not negative per se, but a little bit kind of a lot of the Cosmos ecosystem is like super, super technical, working on like very, very technical problems that never ever touch the user, right? So somebody that's going to come and use a dApp on a DEX, a money market, an LP protocol, like a leveraged lending protocol, a leveraged LP protocol, like these things, like the users don't care the consensus algorithm underneath. The users don't care about the validator set underneath. What they care about is it decentralized enough and is it secure enough that I'm not going to get rugged by some government or some, 3-letter organization come in and then they're going to steal my bags, right? That's what they care about. And is it fast enough to be used? Like, and Kava is fast and the validator set, quote unquote, is centralized. But some of that is by design at the beginning because you really, really need a lot of concentration of power to like move an engine. And, admittedly, this is kind of a bit of a reset for Kava when they launched with the EVM on top. And some of the inflation rates and the validators got pissed, right? But it's not like adding another validator is going to actually move the needle for the ecosystem. But taking that funding admission rate that would normally go to a validators and then pushing it to the developers that you have here on stage is bringing developers, and the developers and the projects are bringing activity and they're bringing users. And so when they put together the $750 million like ecosystem fund, that's no joke, bro. That's one of the biggest in like the entire industry. Like effectively that funding is going to fund the next like 100 DeFi projects and create a ton of different like new DeFi primitives. We're talking to some like very interesting things that have never been done before in the crypto space. And you need enough capital to attract that talent. Like some of the talent that you're attracting, I mean, we talked to some projects, like tier 1 projects, and they're like asking 5 million. Like we said no, but at the same time, like it is no joke in getting like the top projects on your chain, like EVM for ease of use so they can build and build fast. They can use a lot of the work that's been done, get a lot more and better developers in because effectively like it's faster. And then you get to experiment more. Like this whole game of startups in crypto is like whoever runs the experiments faster and learns faster gets more information, learns from their mistakes, and they can build and keep on iterating to the right solution. So yes, some of the core principles or some of the core things kind of within the cosmos at large it kind of looks like an outlier, but like, dude, it's a tip of the spear in a lot of different aspects. Kava recently got listed on Coinbase, and it's making it easier for every other Cosmos ecosystem project to get listed on Coinbase and they have a process. So I think, when you centralize, the best way in the world to like lead like a country is like with a dictator and like some form of like centralization. And so Kava did take some of the power back because they did launch pure Cosmos at the beginning and had a lot of different DeFi primitives. And they're like, hey, we're just not getting enough activity from the ecosystem. We're not getting enough action. So we have to like do a little bit of a restart here. And the other thing is connecting to the rest of Cosmos. There was a token swap deal with Akash. So a lot of the server infrastructure that's going to be in hosting infrastructure and storage, there's some deals coming up with Akash. And so the IBC connection to Akash, the IBC connection to the Cosmos Hub, and then there's going to be more connections coming on to the rest of IBC over the next year and into the next year to like further integrate a lot of the Cosmos ecosystem.
I think we're gonna touch on a bit more of this, but Finn, can you timestamp Brian there on the recording when he said, that ain't no joke, bro. That ain't no joke, bro. Savage. Brian, right, so a couple of things quickly before we like move on to talking about the projects and stuff, right? Have you, since the new management took over, have you seen any sort of movement or other plans to kind of, relinquish the centralization aspect of it at all? Or will that come like later? Are the plans long term to kind of decentralize? And the next thing is, how did you guys get the deal? So they're the two things I've got for you. What are their plans in regards to decentralizing? And then how did you get the deal? Kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. So the first question, yes, 100%. So right now, about 2/3 to 1/2 of the TVL is on the Cosmos side, and Kava is pretty much an American-based company. And I don't know if you see what's going on in the news with the SEC and everything. Decentralization is a key component. Part of the other thing of the Kava Rise program, with about 1/2 to 2/3 of the TVL on the Cosmos side of the fence on Kava-based DeFi products, Kava has to get that token off of their own projects and sundown their projects. So getting like really key dexes, getting really key money markets, and getting that token into other DeFi projects is super, super important. The other aspect of decentralization is like it quote unquote it's centralized, but it's decentralized as well. Like if you look at, there's diminishing returns as you decentralize the validator set. There's research by Osmosis, there's research by Adam on this. I think like Osmosis had like 100 validators and they moved to like 175, and the actual added security was very, very limited. Kava, instead of distributing to like investors or the core team, Kava is distributing to the developers, right? That's the whole point of the Kava Rise program. Now, the Kava Rise developers, they decide to use the incentives as liquidity. They decide to run their own validator. Like, that's up to them, and we'll see how that pans out. But instead of like an airdrop that's just basically like has no incentivization structure, or it's not pushing the ecosystem forward, or you're dumping an airdrop on retail and then retail is going to dump it. Like, these are businesses. Like, everybody up here has like run a project before on another chain, is a business, and they know what to do with their treasury, their incentives, and their capital. Some are going to be used to incentivize retail to use the product, but all of this token is going into the developers' hands so they can continue to build, they can continue to experiment, and they can continue to push the ecosystem forward. So you can think about it like your three kind of classic options within the Cosmos ecosystem are, hey, let's put the token into retail's hand in an airdrop. Hey, let's put the token into investors' hands. Hey, let's put the token, let's see, what else? Into the whales' hands that are doing certain things. Or, that's kind of like traditionally. Or we can put it into the people that are actually having impact in the entire ecosystem, which is, what are the dApps that users want to use? And that's the strategy that they decided to go. How we got the project, it's a little bit of inside baseball, but in the macro, there was a lot of shakeups at a lot of different ecosystems that we were talking to, and one of the heads of ecosystems ended up moving over to Kava specifically to run a playbook to get EVM projects, and we had helped him at Near, and we had helped him at Aurora, and then when he came over to Kava, like we were his first call, like as soon as he got the job, was like, hey dude, we need to run that playbook. We need to bring 100 DeFi projects to Kava this time. And admittedly, in the bear, it's a lot harder, bro. It is, everybody's hurting in the industry. Like chains are hurting. A couple of the grants teams, we were like exploding. And then all of a sudden, Luna and Terra crash, and we had 80% of our contracts canceled, like because of the macro. And, we were like back July and August of last year, it was dark times, dude. It was like, what is going to happen? What is going on? Like nobody was funding. We were helping like investors intro to like projects in 48 hours, 72-hour turnaround, March of this time last year. Like whole rounds were getting filled in 7 days. Now it's like 4 months to get like 2 checks into a project. So it's starting to pick up now again, but effectively it was like really, really dark. And so, lucky for us and that we had experience doing what.
Could we find out of Rebekka what are like the biggest challenges? Like as an because you run the company, Brian, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing, right? Yeah. So Rebekka, like from your point of view, what the times that Brian's talking about, these difficult times, what were your like biggest challenges, and what are the things you're most proud of getting you through the dark times and then pulling this off with Kava?
Oh yeah, I mean, like we were in, all in the same boat as a team. It was just challenging for everyone because no one knew how to obviously navigate in it. I agree with everything that Brian mentioned, but it was just like really hard to because people are really risk averse, right, in this condition. So it was really hard to even execute, right? And I'm talking right now, for example, even how we started with Kava basically in September, and then as soon as we just starting the process going, FTX happens, right? And we all in US as well, and Kava is also in US, So it was just challenging to even convince people, and especially as you mentioned with Kava and Cosmos controversy, it was actually I think for me and for my teams, which is BD basically, outreaching to teams, there were lots of confusion at first. Well, why Kava? I mean, it's Cosmos, but how come it's EVM? So it was a lot of education on our end as well to just actually Kava, yeah, originally on Cosmos. I'm not going to repeat the entire story. You guys know how it started. But yeah, it's EVM, and now we have also this program. So it was a big challenge to first educate people, I would say, and then to convince them about the treasury, right? Or let's just explain what's actually available on Kava. And also just bringing people over, as Brian mentioned, tier 1, if you also want to pump your TVL as a chain, to bring more liquidity, of course, it's pretty challenging to convince projects who have established SDK, their stack, and they no, we're not going to use this Oracle. That was very challenging too, from an infrastructure perspective. Every chain is super different. Every single EVM is super different. And I think I'm just going to share what our team experience is coming in, working on Kava. We just assume because of our previous experience how it is. And here, again, it's a different stack. So there are also lots of infrastructure things that we brought over, which it was just amazing, and still bring over RPCs and stuff, because again, we are preparing for a big, massive TVL, and user trading on Kava. So, we definitely need to be prepared for the volume. But that was Kava related. Dark times, just pushing through, and obviously being super agile, and just whatever, pulling knives. I would say that's one of my talents. It's just whatever is pulling, I can just go there and fix it, or try to fixing it. And I think just doing your best at whatever time is. That's I would say the best advice I can give going through the bear, and it's my first cycle. But yeah, Brian, if you had anything also to add on it.
Yeah, I think it was a big
Rebekka. Oh, sorry, Brian. I just mentioned EVM because we do need to welcome your guest, Rebekka, because he's tried so many times. But Rebekka, you mentioned EVMs. Before we welcome your guest, I've just got a really quick, devil's advocate question for you.
Sure.
Kava and say like Evmos? What's the difference between them, and why Kava? Why not something like Evmos? Because I've got no doubt you've looked at the competition, right?
Yeah, like about like Evmos. I mean, I can just speak on some part of it. Kava forked basically Evmos EVM, and they were just optimizing on the existing code that Evmos had available. I imagine you also want to ask about controversy around it. I know that some Cosmos community were not happy. But like, what's your exact question? I would say, because like I don't see anything wrong in using.
Oh no! It's nothing to do with the core. Like nothing, because I mean, there's a lot of controversy with Ether Mint and Evmos and stuff, isn't there? No. I'm not talking about that. Just as products, as propositions. Like why is like Kava just so much better than Evmos? Do you think? Any personal opinion? I mean, you don't have to have one. I'm just asking.
I don't think that I have a particular opinion. Like maybe we can throw it either to Brian or even to projects who build on it, because like a couple of projects here that we have as guests build on main EVMs. So guys, I actually gonna throw it to you as builders. Did you notice any difference?
Well, from our point of view, when we were researching to see in which change we were going to build Equilibre, we were looking at several things, and one of those things was the current TVL in the chain, and Kava had a lot, even though later on we realized that most of that TVL was in the Cosmos side, not in the EVM side. So that was actually another reason, because we realized that there was the room for positioning in Kava EVM, and if we did it right, we could attract the liquidity in the Cosmos side. Then I'm not sure if Evmos has a similar grant program like the Kava Rise. I don't think so, but I'm not aware, to be honest. I don't know, Atakan, what you think and what was your reasons?
Well, to be honest, our whole reason was equilibrium. I'm ashamed to say this, but like I didn't know that much about Kava ecosystem before Equilibrium offered partnership to us. Then, we thought that our whole tokenomics is designed around to launch on solidly forks for for example, like Velodrome or Equilibrium, and Equilibrium offered a partnership to us, and after that, we realized that Kava is a growing ecosystem. So I think I'm not the best person to answer this question, but like after building it, like it's not much different than building on Optimism, for example, and it's very easy to use. So yeah, that's how I see the current point of view.
I mean, wasn't Evmos build as bridging to bring liquidity from Ethereum, right, over to Cosmos, right? I mean, is that the MO with Kava, right? Or is it are people building to get liquidity bridged back over, or what? Because there's not that much liquidity to start with, right, over on Cosmos.
Yeah, Robo, the thing here is that there's this, I'm not going to talk about the tech. I'm going to talk about the strategy and the business development and the incentives. So many developers and builders in the ecosystem that are blockchain developers think ooh, I have the best tech. Literally every chain that we talk to, every ecosystem we talk to, they say, we have the best tech. And guess what? Developers tend to not care. It has to be good enough that they can execute, that they can run a business, run dApps on, and that users are going to use, and it's not slow, right? And so what they concentrate on is fast finality, block time, consensus algorithms. But at the end of the day, does that get you more users, and does that get you more developers? It doesn't really. So we've I'm not going to throw Evmos under the bus. They did a lot of work. They're kind of restarting, and they're investing in some key projects. And I know some of the projects that they're connecting to and they're investing in, and it's rad. But there's this kind of homesteading thing. Hey, this is my home, this is my chain, this is my land. And if I just build this land and make this land available, all the best developers are going to come build on my land. And they're not. You have to buy, bro. You either have to build individuals to build on your land, or you have to buy them and incentivize them to come and build on your land. And so that's the strategy that Kava deployed in the business development, other chains can do. But you got to spend, dude. Like you have to spend, like Rebekka was talking about, an infrastructure.
Brian, is that white hat mentality gone into crypto, and now it's just all capitalist and all like corporate and all business, and everyone's getting paid up front before they lift a finger. Is that what crypto is these days, or have we lost that kind of freedom era, or what?
I wouldn't call it loss of freedom era. Like we've learned, there's a lot of good examples of good code that works and dApps that work. And if you can't get like Aave or Compound over to your chain because they want like 40 million, 50 million of TVL and all of these guarantees, like just fork it and let's go. Like money markets are needed. Money markets are known to be needed, right? So what happens is like these tier 1 and really high end tier 2 projects, we've gotten quotes for like $20 million to bring over a tier 1 project. We're just like, get the heck out of here. Like, we don't like, you have some code, it's open source, it's there and available. And like we've also gotten money market quotes for 10 grand. Like, so what I'm trying to describe is that people hold the code and the technology precious. But you have to bring the money, you have to bring the marketing, you have to like really like the recent grant from Kava to Equilibre like is cool, and they're going to use it as liquidity incentives on the platform. But dude, there's like 3 more programs that are coming to bring more users on the marketing side of Kava. That's like amazing. Like a learn and earn thing. There's like a lock. There's more grants to get people educated on how to use the product. So, a lot of the standpoint of some of the other kind of chains that we talked about is like, we're the best. We're so cool. Our tech is amazing. The builders will just want to come on their own. But no. You have to buy the attention of the developers. And then you have to incentivize them, because if you're a smart developer and a smart project, you're getting $1 million offers. You're getting $100,000 offers from other chains. So you have to play that game.
Yeah, maybe I would like to add something there, because actually it touches with how we were doing all the business development. Like we got 10 amazing partners to launch with, but we also couldn't close other deals because of things like this, because lack of tech. And for example, the guys from Reaper, they are very clever. They have a very nice product, and they were about to come to Kava, but there were other 3 chains offering them more. So, for example, Kava doesn't have Chainlink, doesn't have Layer 0 yet, and stuff like infra that is still yet to come, that is in the works. But at the end, it also has to match like what these other teams, the cost and what they hope to achieve by doing this step, because it's also time consuming. So they maybe prefer to go first to another chains that offer them, a better deal and a better solution. It's not just about buying; it's just also about the time consuming. If it is worth it or not. And I think that we had done the first step well. We have established ourselves. Also Mare, and there we have a DEX and a lending, and this will allow more projects to come, like ACryptoS, for example. ACryptoS needed from a lending protocols to be here. So once we got Mare, we were able to get ACryptoS. It's just baby steps, and yeah, I'm not a tech guy, I'm not the tech guy of the team. I'm more like the user-minded one that just thinks, common sense and try to bring down everything to a normal user point of view. And at the end, yeah, people just want things to be simple. It's okay to focus. It's okay to focus on the techie side, but if you don't have an ecosystem built yet, you better make it simple first. And that's what Kava did with the Kava Rise grant and the whole business strategies that they are working on together with AlphaGrowth.
Buddy, that's an insane fund. Oh, sorry, Brucey, that's an insane fund. 750 million is just crackers. Go on, Bruce.
I just want to congratulate Siur and the ACryptoS project on launching, man. It's a month since you launched, right? And you just finished the 3 epochs of your launch.
Yeah, exactly. We turned 1 month old yesterday, so we are pretty happy. Just as I said before, baby steps. So hopefully we can celebrate another month and another month after that, and yeah, we keep on building.
Congratulations, man. Was it easy to launch on Kava with the team and everything? How was it?
No, we have as well our own fair share of issues along the way. We have been building this since September, I believe, September, October, and we're a small team, and so we did a lot of work in understanding the model. We got in touch with Velodrome, which is a project and that we are trying to emulate. We are trying to emulate their story, like Brian said, following their playbook. And we had to put a lot of time to understand it, to understand the code, to understand it well enough to be able to simplify it and make it easier for new users to understand it, even for beginner users. We publishing bugs that were already known in the contracts from Velodrome that we fork, because we are a fork, but we knew that there were things that needed to polish. So we had to also polish that, and the business development, as I said, sometimes leaded to nowhere, because at the end, some projects needed some kind of infra to launch in Kava. The RPCs during our testnet was not the most friendly one, and I believe the current one is not either. But yeah, there are a couple of handicaps, but still there are also other positive stuff. Like, for example, fees are very low. We are very close in touch with Kava, so that also make us, feel a little bit better and happy that we did this choice, because maybe if we went to some other chain, we were not having this close relationship. So far we are happy, as I said. Mare, Kami, ACrypto, Tarot. We brought Cuidado. We actually are. We hear from Cuidado 2 days ago that they are running a new proposal in their own governance thing to increase the funding that they will use to bribe on Equilibre. So we are generating changes and little by little growing. So we are pretty happy so far.
I think there's a really good point in here around the infrastructure. When we came in September, like to Rebekka and Siur's point, that's like, hey, like the amount of infrastructure that wasn't there, that was required to like have a really good DeFi ecosystem on the EVM side was ridiculous. We've helped deploy over $2 million in infrastructure. We have like 2 different and possibly a third RPC partner coming on. 2 different oracles, multi-sig that needed to be built. There was so much infrastructure that needed to be built. Indexers that are
what oracles are you using, Brian? What oracles? Because I know that's a sticking point in Cosmos.
Witness on there right now, and Redstone is coming, and there's a third one coming that I can't release. What was it?
Supra?
Supra? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, it's not the one that you cannot release. I think. Yeah, Supra also. I think it's actually like really popping up. Oracle for price field as well. Pretty interesting.
It's the biggest bugbear, or one of the biggest bugbears of Cosmos, isn't it? Oracles, like hands down.
Yeah, so all this infrastructure had to be bought, right? I mean, like sure, there was RPCs that are natively built from the Kava team, but like if you like first phase is yes, you have to build the infrastructure, but like none of the users like ever care. They just don't want to see the errors pop up on the website with the RPC nodes and like literally Equilibre was so popular that it started crushing the RPCs. And that was like the main thing. So, obviously, we were pushing for a couple things to get out quicker. But we have 2 definitely new RPCs coming that'll make it like faster and smooth out the user experience. And then there's probably a third one coming within the next 6 months as well.
Can we just take a second, guys, to welcome your guest, who was like so patient in coming up, and I felt because of the conversation started, I felt guilty stopping the conversation, but also guilty not welcoming your man. But ACryptoS, ACryptoS.com. Hello there.
Yes, finally I got in. Took me a very, very long time, and I think can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're fine, dude.
Yeah, awesome. I finally got to update that Twitter of mine using the Android phone. So I guess that was the solution. I heard that solution and I just left it and updated and managed to join in. Hey guys, glad to be here. Love the conversation so far. I'm BKT, by the way. I'm using the ACryptoS official account. For all of you that don't know about us, hopefully that you all know, we've been here in DeFi space since 2020. So that's almost 3 years, two years plus up to now. And we are currently the top U optimizer in Kava chain. And TVL, I think last I checked was 11, 13 mil, I guess. Yeah, so we've been working closely together with Equilibre and Mare. And yeah, they've been great partners so far. Kava has been great partners so far. So yeah, we're glad to be here.
Yeah, top decks, top lending, and top yield optimizer are in the room, guys.
Top man. This is a room full of chads, isn't it? Hopefully, guys, we if we get time for like questions at the end, I know there's a lot of stuff to go through, right? But hopefully we've got like a couple of people, like I say DeFi Don's in here. He's one of Kava's biggest fans at the minute. Hopefully get a few other people up, people like Soy, if they had any concerns, you know. But Bbandz, Bruce, we're approaching approaching the hour, and obviously we want to get out hearing from the project and having a bit of crack. But I just want to bring in a DM I got, guys. Someone said in the DMs, so far I'm absolutely loving this. Brian laying down some hard advice for some of the Cosmos people. You want devs, you got to buy them. And then underneath he says, Cosmos devs too focused on paying each other instead of getting like outside talent coming in, unfortunately. But never mind. And then when they do bring people in that absolutely suck at it, like Luke, for example, oh my God, 1.5 million down the fucking toilet. Jesus, Brian, I hope we recover from that one day. The shame, you know.
Hey, dude.
But yeah, you're not wasting money, Brian, are you? You're not wasting money.
I totally waste money. That's part of the game, right? You have to waste money. I think on our initial ecosystem that we helped out, it was 10 to 15% breakage. We would be like, it was a bull and we were deploying grants fast, but like I think it was like 12 or 13% of the grants that we deployed never did anything. They never launched a thing. Right. But you learn, you pattern match, you know who's real and who's excited to like come in and who's just grant hunt. Like it's like anything else, dude. You get better the more you do it. That, you know, coders code, writers write, and grants deploy grants. Like you learn. And so you're going to make mistakes, but you have to keep doing it. And you can't. And I think a lot of the thing in the Cosmos ecosystem in general is like, that lack of like wanting to do rapid experimentation, it's going to trail behind, right? So you have to deploy, you have to make mistakes, you have to learn from mistakes as quickly as possible.
Correct, son. Absolutely perfect. Right, we're going to start showcasing some shit that's going on with these projects and stuff. Bbandz, what's happening, darling? Are you enjoying yourself? What are you thinking about?
What am I thinking about?
You're thinking about you're going to have to go and explore Kava or what?
Yeah,
or are you drinking Kava?
No, drinking some coffee. And then I am going to say, I'm going to check it out again because I hopped into that Kava surge thing and I was trying to get like into it. And then it was like, exactly like Brian said, everybody kind of forgot about it. And so I'm going to come back, check it out. And I'm excited to see what happens.
I talking about that. I thought I wonder if like NFTs is that ever going to be a thing? Like Brian, is there even like NFT projects over on Kava?
There's not.
I don't even know.
We have to start pushing that direction. Especially with like Equilibre, like the VE NFTs. Siur, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, guys, if you're familiar with Velodrome or how the Solidify forks work, basically, but to summarize it very quickly, like the key difference from traditional AMAs is that in traditional AMAs, the team behind it, they assign how many emissions are allocated to every pool. So they basically control that. In this kind of model, the Solidify model or B33 model, or we call it in a more friendly way, lock and govern model, basically every participant, every player can vote using a BNFT to influence how the missions are distributed every epoch. So the way it works is you get BARA, which is our native token, and you lock it into a BNFT format called BBARA. Basically, BBARA represents a bag of BARA locked. The more you lock and the longer you lock it for, the stronger your voting power. So then once you hold this BNFT, you go and vote for the pool that you are interested in getting more emissions, and you vote for it. So, for example, the 10 partners that I was talking before, and one of these is also AlphaGrowth, is ACryptoS, is Mare, Kava as well. All these projects, they have a BNFT with a certain amount of voting power, so they can vote for their pools. In the case of Mare, for example, they are voting for their own pool to receive emissions during each epoch. The more votes they can get, the more emissions they will get. So at the end, this BNFT, we are also gonna build a NFT marketplace or work with a third party that build this for us, because people also like trading these BNFTs. That's yet to come to Kava. Also, people for participating of this voting process every epoch, they get extra rewards. They get trading fees from the LP that they voted for. 100% trading fees are shared among the voters, and also bribes, which is the main element of everything, because since the emissions are decided based on how many votes every pool got on every epoch, projects can offer bribes to attract more votes, and basically attract voters from different communities and be able to claim a share of those bribes at the end of the epoch as well.
I think there's
bribing for votes is becoming a gamification process these days, isn't it? But did he mention they needed someone to build an NFT marketplace, Brian?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I wonder.
Does anybody?
I wonder who's building. I'm not sure if I know a couple of people who are busy building NFT marketplaces at the minute and looking at custom minters and stuff next, but maybe.
So maybe if you guys hang around after this space, you're going to meet somebody. We're going to launch an NFT marketplace in a couple of hours.
I think they know that. I detected some sarcasm there.
For sure. One of our goals is connecting the Cosmos side with the email side. So connecting both developer teams, users, liquidity, everything. So yeah, open to discuss.
Actually, that's quite big news about, I'm not going to divert, but the marketplace we're talking about and the situation, I think we know they've just made an announcement that they're going to upgrade, obviously, to SDK 47 and then going to obviously have alliance, etc. Like that's quite a big thing, especially like what's going on. But yeah, NFT marketplaces, that can be a conversation, Brian, for another minute, another day, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 key points to the Equilibrium launch. Number 1, they had to buy their partners to come, right? And they had incentivized them to come. And those partners are the ones that are bringing like the giant amount of TVL. The second thing is the real, there's 2 innovations here. One of the main innovations is the locked Vivara. It has voting power, and that voting power historically was done behind the scenes in backroom deals. Now it's 100% transparent on chain, right? So where the emissions go and who gets the funds is like you literally can track the NFT. You know who holds the NFT. You know where the emissions are going every single week. It's not like backroom deals where like, or it's not governance proposals where, hey, I'm going to go do this thing and then you're going to, put incentive structure on my pool. It's hyper efficient. The third thing that I would say, which is another innovation, the VENFT is effectively acting like a bond, right? So it has a actual use case and utility as you use it, but it's also locked for a period of time, which acts like a bond, right? So just because the bond doesn't directly get the incentivization, it still has utility. It still provides yield to other pools, but then it unlocks over time. So there's a bond secondary marketplace. And the last thing I would say is, in a bear, you have to buy liquidity. And the bribe mechanism within the Equilibrium model with the VENFT basically deepens the liquidity, because liquidity, all money is going to go to where it can get the best risk return alpha. And right now, in a bear, there's less liquidity in the market. There's more liquidity getting pulled out, put in TradeFi. Hopefully, liquidity with this banking stuff kind of pulls back in. But you have to bribe and you have to incentivize liquidity to pull. So it's just like economics, right? Wherever the most APY is on a pool, that's where the degens are going to go and pull. Wherever the most alpha is that's where the users are going to go. That's where the investors are going to go. So once again, it's like the bribes, paying the business partners to come on, and then having new bonding mechanisms and new DeFi primitives are like three of the innovations that are going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, yeah, the more votes a pool receives, the more emission it gets. Therefore, the more liquidity will get as well, because people will want to earn those emissions. So you will add bribes to continue increasing those amount of votes every week. And yeah, that's basically what is called the flywheel in this way.
And I think
Andy, I think the greatest example is I think our tokenomics on that, because like our whole tokenomics, as I said before, is designed around that equilibrium bribe reward mechanism. And for example, we are constantly bribing instead of giving LPs direct emissions with our token. And for example, I think last week we bribed for $75,000 if I remember correctly, and like this week we bribed for 50,000. And I just gotta be honest, it's much more efficient than just simply giving tokens to LPs with your. For example, we could have something like Sushi's or other protocols tokenomics. For example, they can just stake their LPs in our protocol and they can earn Mare tokens. But instead of that, bribing Equilibra is much more efficient for us and much better for Equilibra's voters as well. As they get more and more bribes every week, and we are getting more liquidity out of our rewards. So I think like Equilibra's presence on the ecosystem like brings so much to the other projects as well, like not just for them but other projects, because like they're helping building out liquidity and they act as a marketplace in the end, because like when someone is looking to the, for example, optimism ecosystem, they just go to Velodrome and see which projects are launching, which projects have more APR, which projects bribed, etc. And in Kava's case, I think it's Equilibra. Like people will come to, like who will come to Kava will just look Equilibra and just see where the like projects are going or what they're doing, or are they doing good bribes. Or for example, when you see a huge amount of bribe, you will just think that, oh, this project must something be good, and I will look to that project or something like that, if that makes sense. By the way, sirs, I have to go for another meeting, so I just wanted to thank you for this space and yeah, thanks to listeners.
No problem, dude. You're more than welcome. Yeah, come back anytime. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I want to talk.
Take care, man.
I want to pitch Mare too.
Take care.
Like,
sorry, Brian. Can I tap something that you just said? Yeah, that what you said about the backstage deals. That's also another key why protocols prefers this model. We actually had an AMA with DeFi last week, and they actually were talking about how sometimes the teams behind the projects, they use emissions as hostages. So if you don't agree to certain deal, or they get angry with you, or for some reason, they just remove emissions from your pools. So it's very tricky for projects that to happen that, and if they want more emissions, they need to go and negotiate and basically beg for it. While in this new model, the Solidify model, they can effectively control how many emissions they will earn by bribing. So if next week they want more emissions, they will bribe more this week. And that's why they are moving their liquidity from this old model to the new one.
Yeah, before Atakan goes, like he figured out a model, him and his team figured out a model that is completely rad. Not financial advice, but right now on the Mare finance, if you stake Mare, it's a 446% staking APR, which is just nuts, dude. Like the way that the capital efficiency is working with his money market is just insane. They figured out a loop and a flywheel to like basically provide a ton of yield and a ton of utility. Now it's not going to last forever, right? That 446, we're in week 2, we're week 3 here, so it's just you get in early, and eventually all alpha returns the beta. But it's a hell of an opportunity right now. But there's a lot of kind of like mechanics that go in, and there's a lot of time like kind of bouncing between like Equilibre and Mare, and that's why like ACryptoS is like an awesome tool. ACryptoS, like, you want to jump in and talk about it?
Yeah, cool. I think the one main thing that we need to like explain to users is we get a lot of questions on our single token vaults actually, because a lot of them, they're asking me how come we get much higher yields as compared to if they were just depositing into Mare Finance themselves. So this is not a model that they are familiar with. So basically, to explain that, what basically we do with our strategy here is, this was a strategy that our dev came up early on when BNB chain first launched, and we were building on like Venus vaults, and we just improve our strategy year by year up to now. So now it's basically what is simply being done is, for example, there's this USDC markets on Mare Finance, and borrowing and lending, basically we will take all the deposits into our vaults and then supply into the market and use the highest collateral ratio, let's say 80%, and then borrow out, supply again, borrow out into a looping strategy, so that basically it increases the supply value of the whole market by a lot as well. And we basically help our users compound all those rewards back into the token that they receive in. So I think for users, it's actually a choice for them. They can opt to, they can actually do this whole process by themselves on Mare Finance themselves. If they supply and then they borrow, they collect the Mare rewards, then they can decide what they want to do with it. They can either stake it for the weekly rewards, or they can sell it for the other tokens. So what we do on our vaults is the users that use our vaults would be those that prefer to have the original tokens. They want to, for example, in just our case, USDC, they would be going more and more of the USDC tokens based on the APY that we're putting up. And all these is, there's no farming tokens involved. We're not doing farming emissions anymore on our own ACS tokens. So all the APY is basically on the tokens that is being deposited itself. So if I'm looking at my site now, for Mare itself, we have like 12 million of TVL. The largest for so far is 4 million, which is USDT, and it's giving out a 23% APY for USDT single token. So this whole process is actually a lot of users, they don't really understand why, because in our community we have a lot of questions popping up. How come APY is higher than on Mare Finance itself? Why? So I think we always take opportunities to explain the strategy that goes behind the scenes that our vaults are doing. And I think one of the better things about our vaults is in the efficiency of the whole contract. So we actually have every single thing automated. So to get the optimum APY supply borrow ratio, so there's no manual deleveraging or leveraging of all the vaults. All these are all calculated and applied automatically. And we have been, and an efficient code helps with all the gas fees as well. So on Kava chain, maybe gas fees are not so apparent, but when we are using the same strategy on all the higher gas fees chains, we can see more apparent compounding happens much more often because of that, because of lower fees. And yeah, that's basically what we do on all our single token vaults. As for our LP vaults, for the 2 token vaults that we do on Equilibre, that is more of like, I think more or less people understand that method of using Equilibre rewards to auto compound into whichever LP that they are staked in. So that has been the similar model for a lot of the U optimizers. For example, like let's say Beefy also applies the same strategy. And I think we do get a slightly higher APY on our side because our fees are a bit lower. Our performance fees for each of our vaults are a bit lower. So but of course, we don't have the exposure of Beefy, so a lot of users still use Beefy for those vaults. And I think we're quite glad that we have a high TVL here in Kava. Probably because of all these partnerships, we are getting a lot more exposure here. And yeah, I think for we have been, security has always been our key point of considering partnerships for these past 2 years, 3 years. So we have been working with Zone Finance on Optimism early on, and because of the team, we believe that and also Equilibrium was a very helpful in bringing us into Kava process. So I think this whole process, we only partnered up with all these protocols because we wanted to work with safe protocols only, not just like any new protocols that jump in, we'll just build vaults on them. So that has been one of the key factors before considering to move into Kava. Yeah, so I guess that's what how our vaults work for users that don't know how our U optimizer operates.
You guys are like sound like very, very integrated, right? Like you all like know each other like quite well. Like is this crossover, Brian, of like the project? Is that right? Like yeah.
Yeah, I would
like what we say with other like teams that split up, but then they work on stuff, they come back and collaborate, right? Are these guys like work together on projects in the past and stuff like elsewhere and things like there's teams or
some have
like together? I mean, together, yeah.
Yeah, some have worked together in the past, but what I would say is that like you can kind of reinvent the wheel every single time, or these games have kind of they haven't been figured out of who wins at the end, and I think that's a really key important point. If you look like at a V2 AMM, like a sushi or a sushi fork or something like, or like Uniswap V2 fork. Like the game is figured out for like retail. It's like there's all these like different like soft rugs that are available. And then when you go to like Uniswap V3 or concentrated liquidity, it's like super, super complicated. But the VE model it has enough tension from the users, the protocol, the liquidity providers that in which it kind of like maintains like homeostasis. And it's the best DEX model, in my opinion, that exists right now. And to talk about a little bit about ACryptoS is like they've been doing this for a long time, right? So like I use my meat clause, I go and like I compound on Equilibre and Mara right now just because I like to see how much I'm earning. But once I have my strategy that I'm confident with, then I'm just gonna like automate it with ACryptoS because it can compound faster than I can, right? I have a family and I have work to do. So the more you compound,
that's real life.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to be like tied to a computer and compounding like 10 times a day. Like, that's what like a vault and a structured product like ACryptoS like basically allows you to do. But I haven't completely figured out my exact strategy with Equilibre and Mara yet. But once I do, I'm gonna like flow it into like ACryptoS and just like have them run it for me because I want to get back to living life.
I'll tell you what, mind. Yeah, I have to say this, mind. I've listened to you a few. You're very pragmatic, aren't you? Like I would sit in a room and probably listen to you do a presentation and be like, yeah, that's how I would describe you. Like when I listen to you speaking, you didn't give a fuck. Like, do you really? You'll speak your mind no matter what, right?
Dude, I have been fired from so many jobs, like because of politics.
Bbandz, the shit talking started. Bbandz, the shit talking started. How long did we last? How long? Oh my God!
Listen, it was 20. Like a whole hour and 15 before like. It's pretty proud of ourselves. Very proud.
Don't tell us.
We're growing up.
Now they say like you're a little bit autist. I'm just like a little bit of an asshole, man. I just like truth, dude. Like, because you can sit there and bullshit, and you can like tell people like, oh, it's like this and like it's like that, but you can tell when people are lying, and like if then you lose trust, and then you lose respect, right? And so. Like there's a lot of different like politics and everywhere, but effectively, if you kind of don't have to lie, then you don't have to worry, and then you can kind of speak more pragmatically and honestly about what's going on. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared about like I'll tell you what I'm scared about. Like this macro shit. Like it may not even matter everything that we're doing here, right? Hopefully, we start piling in. Like a lot of people understand like a flight to quality and understand that crypto is quality. And I think like things like ACryptoS of like, presenting these vaults and presenting these ideas to individuals kind of like really simplifies the process. Like, no knock against like Equilibre, but dude, to get into the metrics and it's complicated. And I had meetings that lasted 2.5 hours to explain the Equilibre model to certain people so that they could get on board and understand what's going on here. This isn't simple. Like the whole entire model of Equilibrate isn't simple. Their interface is simple, and like once you kind of understand the strategy of how to do it, it's simple. But like this isn't easy stuff, man. These are like high complicated, multifactorial, like different modeling. It's nearly impossible to model and understand what's going to happen in the future. And so there is risk. There's risk in everything. But from the standpoint and the playbook of like what's going on with like Velodrome and the original thing solidly failed, right? So it's not like that this is like risk free, dude. This is risk reward. And looking at ACryptoS right now, the compounding APY on Vara USD is 3,890% right now, which is just like nuts.
Yeah, I guess those numbers are like, I guess it's really like that we all understand only these degen APYs don't really last and all those, but I guess it's all, I think it reaches a point where the equilibrium is when, is it like 4 weeks onwards, is it another 2 months or so? And I think with equilibrium having so much developments with Kava, we might even have all these high APYs for quite some time, I believe, because we see all these news and there's incentives coming in, and once the flywheel keeps on rolling, I think it's really a good ecosystem for all of us that's building here, and with our Kava Rise program here, and people using the maybe Rise incentives to bribe and then getting more users interested. I think that there's a huge potential for all of us here. And right now, I think for the past 2 weeks, we have seen in our U optimizer side, I think the TVL has been increasing not in the sense that they are moving from our other chains. So we actually have had an increase on our overall TVL. So that means that this whole process is actually attracting new users that hasn't been like using our protocol, and in fact that means we are actually making enough noise to actually bring new users who didn't know about any of our projects in the first place. So I think that's one thing to actually be glad about. And it's not just our TVL moving here and there. And yeah, I think we're looking forward to also Mare. They mentioned they might be launching a new token markets soon once the equilibrium liquidity is deep enough. So those are really major milestones that really can bring even more TVL over to Kava.
Yeah. I understand what Ryan said, and of course it's a model that is still not mainstream. It's not known by a lot of people, and it's hard to understand. It was hard for me as well while we were developing to kind of understand it and be able to break it a little bit. I do think, however, that compared to other solid efforts, we have a much more user-friendly documentation, and I think that it's much we actually like level up on that compared to the documentation of other projects. But still, it's like people need to do so many steps, and we actually gonna be working on simplifying that kind of thing, like maybe automating the whole locking and voting or something like that. There are many ideas that we are currently working, but we are still very early. So that's something that we're gonna start dwelling deeper, maybe in the next weeks or the next month. So like for now, we are focusing most in the business developer part. That is, I'm bringing projects that already know how to use it. That will allow us to build this deep liquidity. And then once we actually add more and more projects, we will work on this simplification to add projects that don't understand it or make it easier even for the ones that do.
Bro, when you drop your future shit, like when you come on and do exclusives, like when will you be able to drop some shit like live online with us? Like, because our devs, this is like what RAC FM's been doing for the best part of a year. Every update, like back in the day, this is how this Spaces was born. Every time the devs dropped the game, they did the where they gave us like the rewards from the casino profits, blah blah. Like dude, like we've dropped so many live events, and it's actually quite like funny and entertaining to like do this. But if you would in the future, if you want to, if you don't think we're plebs, I know Bruce is sometimes, but I'm all right, and Bbandz is cush. So, dude, if you want to come on in the future, honestly, and like drop some shit like live, or just drop it and then come on with your alpha and be like, oh, I've just dropped some fucking alpha, you're more than welcome, dude, right? All he in the room, all he is up here tonight speaking, and all he is bloody listening. Look at the chads. We normally do this, guys, because we are like a little radio show. Look at that crowd. We've got DeFi done. I'm hoping at the end we can bring them up for questions. Finn's left to go and edit the round table because he's a bit slow this week and we're asking questions about his skills. So he's dropped off. We've got our artist, Ambedo. We've got Soy too. Now, we're not going to finish a Kava special without giving him a chance to ask a question or two because I know he will. We've got our other artist, Brasco, in here. We've got Mia in here. I go down. We've got home play. Guys, look at this room. It's Smileys. Smileys, you minted out 100%. Get this fucking burn mechanism sorted so I can sort these Trailer Park Kid NFTs out, will you? I'm going mad, man. I need to donate to the Gelato charity. Sort your life out, dude. Come on.
So, Robo, just before we go full ape shit on the...
We're not.
I'm doing.
No, we're not. I'm only joking. I'm resetting the room for a laugh. I'm resetting the room.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to congratulate when Brian mentioned the risk and rewards. I just remembered reading about ACryptoS, and they launched back in November 2020, and since then you have just been growing and growing and growing. Like you're on 11 chains now and you have over 100 vaults. That's really impressive, man. And congratulations with your success.
Thank you. 14 chains, in fact, I think. Yeah. More than it. I think with, what's the latest chain count? Yeah, 14 chains. I think we have been really trying our best to build through that crypto winter that Brian was talking about, that really no funds were, people were pulling funds away, projects were not talking, everyone was just in a super low mood. And yeah, we just kind of hung in there through that. So we have had our big bump in like 2021 February. That was like our huge, everyone was aping into ACryptoS, ACS token prices went up to like super high. Yeah, but that was like the BSC summer boom. Everyone was like having sleepless nights. I wasn't sleeping every day. It was like first thing in the morning, Telegram, last thing at night, Telegram groups. Yeah, those were the days. But yeah, it's getting to a more consistent level now where we try to really educate users on what our values are, what our values have been all these while at ACryptoS. We really have been building and developing unique strategies. And for all of you that don't know, ACryptoS actually stands for Advanced Crypto Strategies. So ACS, Advanced Crypto Strategies. So Dev actually came up with a lot of unique strategies that, as mentioned just now, more higher efficiency and automated compounding. And this is in a BNB chain. We actually developed the first native liquid staking for BNB as well. So most probably we could apply similar things to other chains, liquid staking options as well. So that is actually one of the first. We're trying to build more awareness of that as well. And we have also had some quite unique options of, let's see, there are staking that needs like 1 year locking of tokens, or the longer you stake, the longer you lock them for, and then you get a longer high APY. We actually have a unique strategy that allows you to actually lock for that long period, but actually have that possibility of actually withdrawing funds before that and still get that high APY. So those are some of the unique strategies that we all have been working on for the past 2 years plus or so. And yeah, I'm glad to really see that. And actually LP vaults, we have stopped developing on them for some time because we have been focusing on single token vaults. And because of Equilibrium, we opened our these LP vaults, and yeah, we're quite glad to start to see all these awareness come back. And yeah, really glad to be here and bringing TVL together with all these others.
Oh, bro, what a show it's been tonight. I mean, Brian, have you enjoyed yourself tonight? Is it what you thought it was going to be? Like, we haven't finished, obviously, yet, and we've got Chads up here, but have you enjoyed yourself? Like, that's all we wanted, is to have fun, you know, bit entertainment, but knowledge and information as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining, enjoying. Get to like come up here and flex a little bit on some of the successes, and hopefully, like we're spreading like how to do this in the rest of the Cosmos community, right? I think there's a lot of plays here. There's a lot of knowledge on not just for Kava, but other chains in general can start to like look at these strategies, look how it was done. I wanted to push this out there, so like, hey, like we're all in this together. It's a little bit of like DeFi mopping a little bit, but these strategies start to compound. Like just in like the Mare token, the Equilibre token alone, it's adding tens of millions of dollars of liquidity to the entire net new liquidity to the entire like crypto ecosystem. So some of this is like, cool, look what we've done, and this is rad, and it's awesome. And now everybody that's listening to this can kind of like ape in and earn yield and everything. But also, this is can be like done again and again and again throughout different ecosystems.
Right. Well, someone did request that they were obviously eager, and now I don't know, Brian. We're going to just clarify this. Are we good to like start getting a few audience kids up and a few questions?
100%.
Or bro, is that okay with you guys?
Bring them in. Yeah.
Is that all right, guys? Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely. Soy, hello, brother. How you doing, son? Me little pal. Yeah, are you going to be out here when next week?
I'm gonna probably book my flight over the weekend. Mate, you kind of stitched me up, by the way. In the DM, you said 7th of April, but then on your tweet yesterday, it said 31st of March. You want me to come up and talk? Right?
No way, Jessica's come. Well, I mean, we can cancel next week and you can do the one with Jessica. But I thought you were coming up next week. I thought I said 31st of March. Do you?
Well, I think I'm pretty sure you said 7th. But anyway, we can talk about that later.
Bro, it's killing me. It's killing me organising guests. So I'll talk about that later on the later podcast, right? Anyway, what's up, dude? Talk.
Well, yeah. You were saying before. I should probably come up and ask a couple of questions. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. First of all, I would just echo exactly what you said before. In that my sort of experience with Brian is that he is a very sort of pragmatic guy, calls a spade, and I think it's refreshing to see in the space. And I hope we see a lot more of him. So yeah, just start off with that one. I actually missed the beginning of the show, so you might have gone over like sort of what is the best entrance into Kava for a noob, because I know very little about it.
We know no one asked that fucking question.
Okay, well there's the first question then. So coming in blind, like where do I start with Kava?
I want to hand this off to Rebekka, and she's like been DJing into this as well. So Rebekka.
Well, first you definitely need to get some Kava, right? So you can either start on I believe like Coinbase right now, but definitely Kraken can start. Just get some Kava there, and try. I would say definitely Equilibre, because it's just very easy, and this is like the most fun game that you can play right now. I actually pinned in the post here trade and learn program that is going on right now. I think it will be like a great starting point in seeing other ecosystem projects, because you would need again to swap somewhere, bridge somewhere. So it will be a really nice experience to see other projects that are already on Equilibre. And definitely let me see from DeFi Lama, for example, some fun stuff that I can also recommend. There's something really cool launching. I can drop it off right now. We're doing Chaos, but they're not launched yet. But it's something to take a look at. It will be a really fun game. But yeah, I would definitely start with Equilibre and Mare, just to start off. Stake some Kava as well on native Kava. I don't know if you want to do EVM or Cosmos, but you can definitely also do some stuff on the Cosmos side. The right liquidity, look at. I would definitely start there. Brian, or maybe any of the builders, what we should start on Kava?
Yeah, I would say come to Equilibre, of course. Go try the app, take advantage of the current trading and learn experience. So it's actually the best time to learn about it, because you can come, trade, learn, get rewards after this campaign end, and then you took all the knowledge and all the experience from using this app, and then you will be able to see the whole week go in the whole voting process. You can maybe receive bribes from Mare, and from ACryptoS as well, or from any other player. But basically, Mare is probably gonna be the one that gonna brag the most. And then try for sure Bares Lock Vault, the lending protocol from then ACryptoS if you want to go deeper into compounding strategies like Brian was talking about. But basically we are all focusing on building Equilibrium as the base liquidity layer. So for the EVM side, so if you wanna degen in this side, for sure come to Equilibrium first. And as I said, this week probably might be the best one to learn about it.
Actually, I think if you were to come to ACryptoS, it actually isn't such an advanced thing. You don't need to think about all those. We handle all those advanced parts for you. It's very simple. If you come here, you have Kava, you have a bunch of Kava. Just stick into a Kava vault, you'll be getting a 75% APY now. Simple and easy.
Yeah, and actually, I just remember that in our documentation, you have plenty of tutorials on how to bridge liquidity from many different sources. Like Rebekka says, from many SECs, you have a tutorial about it. You can bring liquidity from the Cosmos side as well, either through osmosis or wrapping your Kava into wrap Kava. And if you have some assets of fun in other EVM chains, there are plenty of tutorials to know how to come to Kava as well. And if you, for example, send some funds using Axelar, Satellite, or multi-chain, if you send at least $50, you get gas, Kava for gas, and that's already there for start.
I'll throw. Also, actually, I want to throw out, sorry, Brian, on USDC yield comparison. Actually, if you into that kind of stuff, it's 22% APY right now. And it's actually the highest among any EVM chains that I can see. So yeah, that's another thing that you can ape in.
Yeah.
Just repeat that again, sorry, Rebekka. What was that about the USDC?
Oh, so USDC, if you want to basically stake and provide liquidity in USDC on Kava, it's at 22% APY right now.
Interesting.
For example, to compare, Polygon, I believe, is like 1.5 APY.
Yeah, it seems very, very high. And that, to be honest, like that kind of leads me on to unless Brian was going to add something in there, were you?
Yeah, I'll say a little bit of what we're probably going to post something about this. I'll do a little alpha drop. Kava chain is a partner of Equilibrium, and the Kava pools on Equilibrium. There's been an internal verbal conversation, and there's a commitment to never sell the Vare token. And so the Kava team plans to never sell anything that is generated on the chain. So the Kava pools should stay and remain pretty high in APY without really dropping the value of Vare token. And I think that there's gonna be an announcement coming up in the next couple of weeks on that, because there's a pretty significant amount of liquidity on the Kava pools on Equilibrium. And if you can go directly to Equilibrium, or you can go to ACryptoS and like Kava USDC 75% APY, Kava ETH 79% APY. So lots of games and opportunities there.
Good stuff. Cheers for that. It's definitely been something that's sort of been on my radar since you guys have been knocking around the cosmos. So it's definitely something I'll try to check out soon. The other thing that's on my mind about Kava is this USDX stablecoin. And Rebekka sort of reminded me with the USDC comment there. Like, what is the deal with USDX? It's like I just checked. It's like at 84 cents on the dollar at the moment. And it's never even been close to peg. So what's the crack with that stablecoin?
That hopefully within the year will be going away. It's a known problem, and it didn't trash to like 6 cents like UST, but some of the mechanics of it weren't amazing. One of the challenges we had a deal. I don't know if this is definitely not public, but there was a native coin that was coming to a native stable coin that we're going to have like a native integration with to kind of replace the USX. And then America came in and the legislation came in and said, oh yeah, you guys are a security. That can't exist anymore. It crushed that deal. So we were supposed to have a natively integrated stablecoin by now. And now we're back into, hey, what's going to be the natively integrated stablecoin? Is it going to be USDT? It's going to be USDC. So those conversations are going on, or is it going to be like Axel USDC? And some of the problems with USDC recently are kind of having us lean away from that, but it's kind of TBD what's going to be the natively integrated stablecoin. But USX it will plan to sundown and sunset over the next year. The goalposts are moving. It was like 6 months. Now it's like the end of 2023 before 2024. And then, we'll see like how quickly we can get those things going.
So basically we're moving towards $0 rather than $1, right? On that stable coin.
No, there's going to be a buyback program, and so if you do have USX, there'll be a buyback program, there'll be a window, and it should end at
market rate, or like at $1 redemption.
It's a little bit above my pay grade. Those conversations are going on. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So then with the USDC, with it being EVM, is it the ERC20 native USDC coin?
Yeah, so that's that. Like, there's no deals. Like if you look at some of the stuff that happened with Binance, and Paxos, like you can kind of like add 3 and 3 together to understand what happened about a natively integrated stablecoin. But now that's off the table. We have to find a natively integrated stablecoin. But like, to be honest. From my opinion as a DGen, as a crypto guy, like I don't really care about stable coins. I have to do it to be able to sell, to like run my business. But the stable coins, in my opinion, are just like, they're kind of like a head fake a little bit. I didn't get into crypto so I could have my stable coin inflate by the Fed, or 12 to 14% a year, and so I can kind of like trend towards like nothing. Like I got in because I'm looking for better assets, and just in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would generally agree with that. I think my sort of personal use of stable coins is for trading, basically. I don't really want to incur fees in and out on and off ramping from fiat all the time. But I like to be able to take profits and roll them, and not necessarily at exactly the same time. So I think a nice, reliable, secure stable coin is important from my perspective. What about like Noble, with you obviously being Cosmos connected? Is that going to be any good to you?
Potentially. I mean, if they're going to have like native USDC, we're currently, early in the conversation, we talked about like the 2 like IBC bridges. Just a deal was made with Akash recently around kind of like storage and things like that. And then there's an IBC bridge to Atom. More IBC bridges are planned over the next year. I think there's 5 or 6 different new partnerships and IBC bridges kind of planned over the next year. Noble has not been in the conversations that I've been in, but getting a natively integrated like USDC is getting a natively integrated stablecoin is part of the strategy. It's TBD right now.
Cool.
Sorry. Can I give a disclaimer, please, for the audience, dude? I do apologise to come in here. This really intelligent conversation, guys. Quick disclaimer: Soy is on commission now officially for Noble since Jelena, or Helena, whatever you want to call her, took over the organisation the other day. So that was not a paid shill. That is it's not a reflection of RAC FM whatsoever. We have absolutely no connection with the Noble plebs. I mean, if some people want to lower themselves and do that, the limbo dance, well, yeah, that's up to them. But I just want to say that was not a paid shill. That was not a paid shill from us, guys. Okay, I just putting that out there.
Let me give my own disclaimers, thanks. I don't work for RAC FM. I don't represent RAC FM official chat. I definitely don't work for Noble. I'm on no kind of commission. I'm excited to see a native stablecoin in the Cosmos ecosystem. That's all there is to it.
Is it native though? Is it native or not? I don't know. What do you clarify as native?
Well, I don't work for them. I don't know, but I get told it's native, so I'll take that.
So native.
Well, they're taking advantage of fucking Circle, aren't they? Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, so native is basically being like saying like there's no bridge risk, right? Like there's kind of insured, there's a pipeline that goes directly to like if you want to like burn and get the fiat, and having those rails. Like everything, every stable coin other than USX right now on Kava is bridged and has inherent bridge risk, right? So kind of like that's the difference between native and the stable coins that are on there. And so once you get like a native token and native integration, then there's a little bit less risk involved, and you can kind of like trust that coin is going to stay at that value. I mean, but like what we saw in the last couple of weeks with like the USDC depeg, I mean, like everything is kind of up in the air now, right? It's just what is stable. Like I'm not trying to like deflect here. I'm just saying it's like is getting into like a stable coin really like sound money at these days. I'm trying to have limited US dollar exposure as much as possible personally.
Yeah, there's no such thing as zero risk, right? Like I say, like for me, stablecoins represent something like basically like a short-term home in between investments. So yeah, there's definitely no such thing as like a completely stable, completely risk-free coin for sure.
I'm super pumped.
I could hear that,
I'm super pumped about getting a CDP. We're in talks with RAI, and we're trying to find a team that will work with RAI to get a stable-ish coin onto Kava. Effectively, like what that does, like RAI is Ethereum backed, and it's only Ethereum backed, immutable contracts. It has a negative interest rate, but you know exactly what the negative interest rate is, and it's non-inflationary. So it's because it's based upon ETH, and if you consider ETH sound money, then you can kind of effectively use their steady coin or their stable-ish coin as a hedge to like de-risk your investment or lever up, right? So you can kind of like loop it. You put it in your ETH, you get more RAI. You take RAI, you buy more ETH. You can lever up, or you can say, "Hey, I had ETH profits. I want to take let me get back into ETH, and then I want to hold for a while and like have less exposure and de-risk. Then you can get into RAI." So we're talking to that team. We're trying to find a team of developers. If you're a developer in the audience that wants to run a CDP, please reach out. I have grant money for you to help build that. We already have a code base, but we need a project team that is going to run it effectively and play with the negative interest rates a little there. And so, yes, we are looking for a CDP.
What a show this is tonight. Go on, Rebekka.
Yeah, also I would say I would add liquid staking as well. I know like a couple of projects right now building a liquid staking on Kava, but I don't know what they built before, or I cannot prove that they're gonna be moving pieces. But yeah, liquid staking is also something that we are looking at. Derivatives and options, and also what else we were looking for?
I think
derivatives and options would be good as well.
Let's dive in. Like, there's a whole bunch of Cosmos people here. Like, we have grants available to figure out like a liquid staking derivative to bridge it over from the Cosmos and get it into onto the Kava side, so it can get like more utility and more games on it. Like, we are like explicitly looking at that. So any Stride or Wind. I'm talking to the Wind guys, but Stride as well. Like,
are you who are you talking to? Are you talking to Ethan directly? Are you?
Yeah, Ethan had a couple meetings with Ethan. But we are. I really like their plan, man. Like, I really like
what's right. Okay.
Like,
what about right? Okay, because Eric's into the math, isn't he? Like what's happening there? Because Eric the Neck is into the math, and I'm not hearing good things. I don't know, Bruce. Have you heard from your man the Neck?
Yeah, I have. I have like Eric the Neck. He's not impressed with any tokenomics in the Cosmos.
But no. Well, I know about that, but specifically about Wind, he said he was going to go away and hunt the math down the other day. No, he's like, I don't know. Yeah. LSDs are like Marmite, aren't they? Right? Is that me, guys, or are LSDs just like Marmite in the entire industry? Like, I feel like everybody is either one side and everything, yep, bang, great, fantastic, and then on the other side, everybody's like, fuck that, let's just terrible Desian play and people are going to lose their houses. Like, I don't know. That's all I get the feeling from the vibe from the community. Can anybody add to that?
There's a ton of risk, dude, right? So there's lots and lots of risks with LSDs, and it has to be done right. And Wynn put out a little article, and they're going to be putting out more information. I don't know the exact dynamics of Stride, but what you do have when you do the LSD is like you effectively have like the centralization risk with validators, and then you have to kind of like make, just like sushi back in the day with the incentivization structure, you have to make these behind the scenes deals with all of these validators. Listen to me, or we're going to take your delegation away. Like, if you think about like alpha versus beta for a second, and you look at like I think like Kava's like 20% or Junior's like 20% of the emission rate. Effectively, if you take Juno and you just hold Juno, you're missing out on that 20% emission rate, right? But with like an LSD, it's kind of embedded in the token. So you're just hold that token, you're earning it. The behind the scenes, you have centralization risk of where does that token go and delegate to? Which validator does it go and delegate to? And Wynn's trying to solve that problem by saying, hey, with Wynn token, you can kind of like leverage the gauge, and the gauge would say, if you had 20% of the votes, then and onto this validator and pointing at this validator, then they would have 20% of the delegation of the LSD. So it gets a little bit complicated, but effectively they're trying to figure out how to de-risk like the centralization and still have a very powerful like LSD. So like if I want to hold Kava, if I can hold stake Kava instead and have that 20% emission rate embedded in the token, it's much more capital efficient than just kind of holding like wrapped Kava and USDC. So like underlying like my 20%, or if I'm looking at ACryptoS right now, wrapped Kava USDC is like 75%, because half of it is wrapped Kava. If I was able to do that with stake Kava, I'm now up to 85% APY, which is just tremendously more attractive. That's the whole promise of LSDs.
Yeah, I'm finding that out. Like at the moment, actually, it's all sort of fairly new LSDs and the consequences of that in Cosmos, certainly anyway. And so like I've been playing around with Umi this week, where you can basically put up ST Atom, liquid stake Atom as collateral, and then borrow against that. And so like not financial advice at all, but it makes really like sort of nice collateral for lending, because you can then sort of like borrow Atom against staked Atom, liquid stake your Atom, and then loop it, and you basically like, I don't know, like you can end up sort of doing a 3x on your collateral and earn 3x a yield with like a small portion of that paid in borrowing fees, and it's really nice. I'm only sort of dipping my toe at the moment, and I'd encourage people to just be sort of gentle with it. But in theory, as long as nothing catastrophic happens to SD Atom or Stride, it's a fairly safe lending and borrowing setup.
I love that accent. Oh, that accent's sexy to Robo, man. Honest to God, dude, I don't want to meet you in real life. I might have to just absolutely grab you and just fucking give you the biggest kiss you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, well, I'm going cold on the idea already, to be honest with you.
Imagine the smell. He was kicking off the other day when I said, when Soy comes out, he's bringing this, and he's like, whoa. Hey, get the language right. When Soy comes out to Thailand, he's bringing the fucking... Dude, are you bringing me some Branson pickle or what?
No, I'm not, mate. I don't have room in my suitcase for glass jars of fucking Branston pickle.
Right,
arrive with pickle sauce all over me stuff.
Hear me out, man. Hear your brethren out, man. Oh, what do you write at? Shut up, man. Yeah, dude, OXO cubes. That's all I'm asking for, dude. And the proper ones. I didn't want any vegetable fucking stock or that other onion shit. I want the beef. Bro out here, man. Or, dude, even if I can get them. Dude, honestly, I feel like Jack Sparrow walking the plank, like at the fucking till. I feel like climbing up on the fucking till, the band thing that goes along with your shopping shit, and like just walking the plank, like, dude, with one leg, blinking, because like it's that bad out here, like OXO cubes, bro. That's all I'm asking. And how small and light and delicate are those little motherfuckers? Can we have some OXO cubes?
We can talk on the OXO cubes. Glass jars is a big no.
No, I don't want glass jars. Big box.
You said oxtail cubes. So
OXO, OXO. These are like, what's that? Oh, your woman's down horrendous. She's going to be ordering these on eBay tomorrow. Watch. Soy, you know what I mean? They're
sounds
really
like
expensive
Soy's
too.
suitcase is going to end up smelling like
we're digressing away from the liquid staking, but yeah, we can talk about OXO cubes.
Just got to break the room, dude. Just got to break the room sometimes. Right.
Fair enough.
Right. I want to know what Brian's going to do for a PR job to put fucking Kava in the eye of all the IBC people I know that fucking couldn't give a fuck. Or that's what I'm going to end on. Well, not end on, but I've invited Don and a few other people up. And LSDs, I get everybody's opinion. But Brian, what are you going to do to like smack Kava in? Like, we're only finding out. We're chads and we're only like just finding out about the now kind of thing. You heard from Soy earlier. If he was a noob, where would you start? Blah, blah. Don's come in from like the F side and just been smashing the fucking returns for days like a fucking chad. Brian, I mean, where does this is this where it starts tonight? Is this the PR campaign, the big push in IBC tonight?
Yeah, I think we're early on that, right? I think we have to have like another tip of the spear from the Kava corporate side. The first kind of tip of the spear is the deal with Akash and helping with some of the storage and doing the major token swap and the major partnership and providing some infrastructure to the DApp builders through Akash. That's kind of like the stage one. Like I said, like we are looking for LSDs to bring over, and that pulling those LSDs over, wrapping them in ERC20 tokens is a technical lift that Kava is looking into this year. So, but we first have to start with a partner, right? That's going to have like, an LSD or just like, Atom token or.
Well, you're gonna have to use Stride. I heard you. I mean, Brian, let's cut this shit, right? Because we're getting to the end of the show. Don's come up. Listen, you're gonna have to use Stride. You know why? They got fucking Quicksilver to work when even fucking Quicksilver couldn't get Quicksilver to work. I mean, let's not fucking bullshit. Like out there at the minute, who's approving like LSD right now on the fucking market? In IBC, I'd say Stride's just absolutely fucking front run pretty much everybody at this stage before Neutron's coming along, obviously with a bit of a different concept, etc. But you know what I mean? Like Stride, Brian. Yeah, I can sniff the after Stride, aren't you? You like them?
Yeah, there's a lot of attention there.
I was going to say, like, before you started talking about OXO cubes, we had Riley from Stride in here in the audience. I was going to get him to come up and have a chat to Brian. But yeah, you definitely want to talk to Stride, mate, for sure.
Yeah, and I think we have to do it natively too, right? So we have to get liquid staking on Kava, get that into the playbook, get that into the EVM side of things, get in Equilibre, get into Mare, get it on the ACryptoS, right? And that would be our first one. And then listen, like there's a huge amount of games that are coming on the Kava side. Like we're just getting started. And so getting like utility to all of the different Atom tokens and getting like IBC partnerships and bridges and making deals with the rest of the ecosystem is going to be a very powerful magnifier for Kava, but the entire ecosystem as well, is getting exposure to people with like MetaMask wallets, right? I know it's like, Kepler and Terra Station and all these other wallets, but the majority of people that use crypto use MetaMask. And just getting your tokens available to that audience is a big uplift, and people will then hold that exposure.
It's really interesting, the Stride Quicksilver thing. I think that should be a lesson to like anybody trying to deploy any kind of chain in the future. Very interesting. DeFi Don. And by the way, sorry, I only mentioned OXO cubes because like I love talking to you and I just needed some banter. You know what I mean? We cut the room, dude. DeFi Don. He's come up. He's one, like a big user, dude. Welcome to the fucking stage, you little legend.
Yeah, I've been loving the Kava protocol. Really great on all the protocols I've used. So yeah, I actually have a question for Brian. Brian, what besides liquid staking, what other protocols would Kava be looking for?
So there's things that we can't. There's a potentially a big DeSci play that where it's interesting. There's a lot more kind of VE plays. I'm pushing for a lot of VE. We have a tier 1 DEX coming as well, and there's going to be a partnership announcement in the next month or so of another tier 1 DEX. Right now, it's been a 5-month process to get Uniswap v3 on board, and we're probably going to the governance proposals. We're trying to rally the delegates, but getting Uniswap v3, while not that interesting, to be honest, like in and of its core, on top of Uniswap v3 unlocks 20 different structured products that are in the just waiting until Uniswap v3 comes on. So I'm pro Ichi and Ichi Vault. There's other structured products as well, like Gamma and some other ones too that really start to make very, very unique plays across making the whole entire ecosystem capital efficient. I'm big on CDPs, liquid staking, and I think DeSci is a narrative that I'm pretty excited about, and having DeFi components connected with DeSci.
You need NFTs to be relevant in this day and age, man. You've got to have like banging NFTs.
Yeah.
Simple fact of life. Culture. You've got to have culture, and you've got to have. It's all right, like making money, but like the money goes away depending on what the market does in the blink of an eye, right? NFTs will keep people like there no matter what the market conditions or what happens. Like this should be like really like centrifugal, I think, to every fucking. I don't even think you can launch like an app chain and not have some like NFT connected to it, like in some degree this day, like in this day and age, right? Like Newton, for example.
Yeah, definitely wanted to mention here. Like, I completely agree with you. I'm really pushing on NFT, and like we do need an NFT marketplace. We actually just brought over one NFT marketplace from our inbound on AlphaGrowth, because as you know, like we do acquire lots of inbound grants applications, and then we match them and sort them out. But so one of them just launched this week. I think it's called PX Swap, I believe. They just launched. They don't have liquidity yet, but that's just like the first one that we brought over from NFT marketplaces that's fully live. And yeah, like I'm really excited. So builders, please, like anyone, please outreach if you've done like a really good NFT marketplace before, because we do need them for Equilibrium for selling VE NFTs. And we definitely want like usual PFPs, like anything because like this is what the users want, the market wants. Like I definitely want to have it on Kava.
Oh, I tell you what. Oh, this is music to my ears. I mean, I don't know if anybody like disagrees, but like it doesn't matter what the NFT thing it's connected to or what's happening. You just need them. You need that like anchor. There seem to be some crazy anchor, and that's from me, who's like the biggest like. Sorry, that's my dogs. I hated NFTs for so long. I know there's people in this room. I mean, sorry, but was not a fan of NFTs for a very long time. Many of us.
Yeah, I hated them. And I believe you.
Bias will kill you. I tell you what, I could have been a millionaire if it wasn't for bias. I was getting told, like my wife was buying Dogecoin and Shiba, like the money I lost. It'll never happen again. Like bias is just ridiculous in crypto. It will cost you money in the long run, regardless of one way or another. But talking about NFT marketplaces, guys, I just want to give RAC FM a little shout out. And I want to give like Bbandz. I know she's been busy tonight. She's doing a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff going on over there with like what they're doing. Fucking it's crazy. They're really, really pumping skellies. The migration. They've got the bloody spaceships going on. They've got it all. They've got the bloody burn. Everything. Bruce has done so. Oh, yeah.
Cross-chain NFTs, like it's just amazing how many gamification you can do with doing scavenger hunts across chains, like it can be Cosmos app chains, it can be around Kava, like again, like obviously it's the bridging situation, but that's like exciting. And I think this is something that definitely people want to see, like we need to go further than, usual plays that we've seen.
We're seeing unprecedented things. Right now, we have no idea, like what you're seeing with NFTs, and if plebs like RAC FM can do like one-on-ones and push them out. In fact, I've got a little announcement. We have got our artist in the crowd. Shout out this guy. But I believe like corporate Brian is about to get like a proper corporate Brian that is RAC FM'd. So like, dude, we've got this expression, you've been RAC FM'd. If you get like, we did it last week. With Migaloo and with Don, if you saw Don Kryptonium, he got RAC FM'd. That means like we hit you up in like our style, like what we do. Brian, expect something in the post, which leads me to what I wanted to say. Brian, have you got a DAO set up for any kind of like a structure whatsoever, like even if it's like just like dealing with like crypto holdings or assets in the future or whatever, what's your plan on like DAO structures for AlphaGrowth moving forward before we wind up?
Yeah. And there's a couple other people on the other teams. They, I know they're busy too. I want to help release them. We did have a DAO on the near side when we were doing lots of near work, and we kind of like sunlighted that after a while. But before the end of the year, I think we will have token so we're just kind of planning it out. We're taking a lot of inspiration from Equilibre and Mare. And we just signed on Collabland as a client. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Collabland. And before we kind of like, we're holding more and more token and like, as we have this like banking structure and banking collapse, so we're going to need, multi-sig and DAO tooling and DAO structure. I think, the things that we in our DAO would primarily be about would be 100% aligned with kind of what we do. Right. So, we don't deploy checks per se, but we've made 5 or 6 in the last year, got investors to invest in different projects, right? So there's that, and we've deployed over 100 grants to different projects in the last year. And so coming up with a structure in our DAO that would be associated with, hey, when we get a grant to ACryptoS or Equilibre, like maybe there's like some sort of like token swap that goes back to the DAO, and then the DAO holds that, and then we have, you can stake it and then like earn those rewards as we deploy more grants and make more partnerships with projects on that side. And then on the other side, legally we can't take funding for introducing investors to projects. However, the investors you can on the investor side. And so, we are launching a new website. We have a new design coming where you can get investment for your project on AlphaGrowth. It's not live yet. We're working on that right now.
I don't hear anything.
I'm getting rugged to death. Oh God, I was getting.
No, I thought I was getting rugged.
I was, guys. I had to jump out and back. Jesus, we must be getting. Is Finn hacking us? I think Finn might be. Finn. I think if Finn's hacking us, he's like if Finn doesn't want to see any more, like Robo, time's up. But like I think Finn's hacking us. Guys, listen. I will ask for like some closing words, blah blah, in a second. Listen, I want to see it. I am sitting outside, so the dog's drinking water. If he makes a noise, it's not my fault. I just want to say that. Oh, I think Brian was getting rogued. Look, he's requesting. 1 second, I bring him in. There we go, Brian. Bring you back up. Right. I do want to say a couple of things though before we start wind it down. First of all, I'm like Finn said, look guys, you're killing it. I'm just going to jump off and go and edit the round table because the round tables took a lot of work. I just want people to know Finn's really, really trying to push the best quality out he can. He's a legend. You have no idea the work that Finn's doing for RAC FM in the background. All you need to do is literally go to your web browser, racfm.org. That's it. That's racfm.org, and bang, you've got it all in front of you, right? It's insane, what's happening, right? At the minute. But Bbandz and Bruce, honest to God, coming up and just being legends and being there week in, week out, being support, being pillars, man, for what we're trying to drive forward. And then, of course, I'll go to the guests in a second, but the speakers that'll come up, Soy and Dawn, we appreciate these really intelligent, great voices coming up, passing comments, asking questions, being, impertinent when they want to be, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do, man. This is how we fucking roll on RAC FM. That's about as simple as that. We've got your woman Bbandz from the block, man. She might have been a bit quiet. I bet you if she jumps on the show later on tonight, she's going to be on fire. So I want to make an announcement. Will Chen and anyone, I'll tell you what, if anyone tries to front run us and says, oh, we're going to get Will Chen on like they did with someone else the other day, plebs, don't even try. Will Chen's going to come on when they're about to drop or when they are dropping, and he's dropping big time. That's going to be insane. You're not even ready for this. It's taken so fucking long to get this guy. And I was introduced to him by someone who was a pain anyway. We've got Soy coming on. Well, I don't know if he's going to come on next week. If not, if he can come on the next week with Jessica, it's up to him. We'll grab someone else for next week. But we have a couple of things in the pipeline that might surprise everyone. So we'll get some closing comments. I don't know, Brian, what do you think about the show tonight? Have you enjoyed yourself? Have you had a laugh, a bit of fun?
Dude, it was rad, man. I just like getting like to show. A lot of the stuff that we do is behind the scenes, and there's very few times that we get to kind of shout from the rooftops what we do, and so I really really appreciate the availability to like people that like appreciate it. Like, well, I'm like, I go tell like, my mom or family like what I do, like nobody cares, but you guys get it. You guys get the work that we're doing. No, I'm serious though. It's cool. It's cool. We get to like, and then push ACryptoS up and go Libre up there, and we couldn't do it without them. So.
Well, Brian, it's a break.
Kumbaya, my lord.
Kumbaya, my lord. Bbandz loves like Woozy. She stands hand in hand with me round the campfire. Kumbaya, my V. Kumbaya. He was in listening earlier, I will say though, this is a bit of a different twist to our normal Friday show, because obviously RAC FM and AlphaGrowth, we're just trying to support people who try to have vision and want to try and do something, and don't talk fucking shit. That's like been our biggest criteria. Like we always said this from day one, like the RACs, right? Like, don't be fucking stupid. Like, don't be stupid. Don't talk shit, and just try and bring something to the party. And that's pretty much like how this whole thing evolved. Is under those like 3 clear pillars. Like, and we're also like, I don't know. It's a bit like Robin Hood, isn't it? Anyway, we're off to go and ask Juno for oh my goodness, I can't wait for this. This is going to be hilarious, but that's another conversation. In how long, Brucey? Is it over? Well, it's 4 hours and 47 minutes, according to me. We're going to rack
3 hours. 3 hours, right?
Is it? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Yeah. Also, it's 2 hours. It's only 2 and a bit hours. 2 hours 45, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 2 hours 45, guys. Bruce is going to come up and host. Hopefully, I hope Bbandz can jump back in. Finn will definitely be there. Please, guys, if you're free, we're launching the first NFT marketplace. Not we, but the greater, bigger organization we're part of, the Raccoon Supply NFT project that this is where everything's been born from. They've been, since the exploit, they've been paying the bills. Like working to pay the bills, yeah, et cetera, et cetera. They took a grant to build a marketplace. They're going to launch the alpha. Please remember, it is only the alpha, and they're saying to me, Robo, it's only got 50% of the features. Please remember, like what's going to come out after is going to be insane compared to this. So, we're probably going to crash it. Yeah, Bruce, 1 second. This happens with pretty much every marketplace on launch, but you're going to have Mall at the computer, and you're going to have Zap on the computer on the front end, right? And you got 2 devs that are live. So we're going to stress test the NFT marketplace on live on RAC FM. I don't know. I mean, let's find out quickly before we go. Rebekka, darling, do you think it's a good idea to be stress testing our marketplace live? Is that how you do things?
Definitely stress test it as much as you can on different things, different features. Please test it. Yeah, but it's okay also to crash. On the actual launch, it shows the demand, so it's also good. But yeah, anyways, stress test for sure. But yeah, I also wanted to mention, thank you guys for hosting us. It's always a pleasure being here, and promoting you guys and promoting what you guys do and every project that you interact with. So pleasure of mine, definitely looking forward for check-in a couple of weeks maybe for another spike of interesting things, or,
you're welcome, darling. You're welcome. You're welcome, Rebekka. Honest to God, darling, you're welcome. Do you use iPhone or Android? What are you on, by the way?
iPhone, yeah.
iPhone. So we're on iTunes, Do you know RAC FM? If you go to iTunes and you put in RAC FM, you'll see us. Oh, we are SEO'd right all over the place. Honest to God, if you go to Google and you put in RAC FM, Eric the Neck, go to Google and just put in, what is it, Bruce? Bruce knows. Is it just like RAC FM, Eric the Neck?
Just Eric the Neck Weisenin. Just that. You'll even get the IMDb linked.
Not many people know how to spell that word. Come on.
It's so beautiful.
What? Are you on there, Rebekka, already? Are you not on there already? Is she? Oh, listen to that. Oh, she loves it. Yeah, I love Rebekka. This class mind, Brian, your woman. She's gas, isn't she? Proper gas. Oh, wait until the space is later. We'll have a right laugh. If you just come back later, we'll shut up now for now. I don't know if anyone's got any closing words. Bbandz from the block, you woman. I love you to bits. What you got to say, Bbandz, darling?
Well, this was very informative. Thank you so much for coming out, guys, and taking the time to talk to the community about your project. And I just enjoyed listening. I was a little quiet because I had a couple other things that I have to be doing as well, but I learned a lot today, and thank you, guys.
She's the queen of the show. Honest to God, she's the queen of the show. And I'll tell you something about Bbandz, right? We're not rushing our show, but she's going to be front and center of our own show on RAC FM. We're planning, we're plotting, we're going to come up with something that's going to absolutely blow your mind, like a weekly show. Like, she's got free reign night, but she's been quiet at the minute. I know why. She's working.
I am slammed. I was like, I need to wait till things kind of smooth out a little bit before I add another thing real quick.
I know.
Don't want to overload my plate and like burn out.
Well, we've got shit coming together because that DeFi masterclass from last week, that's hopefully with Don's going to become a regular thing. So like Don, you're going to do a DeFi Dejan masterclass once a month with our crew, right?
Yeah, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. DeFi Don, me and you.
Well, I'm putting a request out.
I would love to come and hang out on your show all the time, like regularly.
I'm putting a public request out here, guys. Listen, my dream team, I had this like dream and ambition in my mind, right, when I was organising this, right? And it was DeFi Don, Sencon from White Whale, and it was Shroot. And I'm getting ghosted from your man. And 3 times I've like reached out and I'm still getting ghosted. And I'll tell you what, if anyone speaks to him right on the space when I'm not there, just say, look, like Robo's gutted, like he doesn't give a fuck, like he knows you're probably like annoyed or pissed off or blah blah, like whatever. It's all water under the bridge for me, Shroot, right? I just want you to come on the show because I think he's got Shroot can like showcase fucking so much like DeFi Dejan shit. He's really fucking good, and I just think he's just like foil that out. Like if you get 3 people, 4, you know, like that's cushy. But if you get the 3 where you can just like ask them stuff and let them bounce off each other, wow. So yeah, man, if anyone speaks to Shroot, get him on the show. But guys, the NFT roundtable, I'm not shilling RAC FM, but I am quickly going to shill RAC FM before I speak to Soy. Bruce, it's just gone live, right? The NFT roundtable that we don't record on Spaces, just gone live from Terra Spaces, yeah?
Oh, he's so quick, man. He's so quick.
Right. So that was a good one on Tuesday, yeah, with like Rizby and everybody. We pretty much got everybody in except Berserker, so we had like 6 of them all together. That NFT roundtable is banging. If you wait until you see who the next few guests are in the next few weeks, you'll be really surprised. So, guys, we're going to try to create some form of like organized like calendar or whatever, so you can track this shit. But yeah, you heard Rebekka say like she looked at iTunes and she's like, okay, I like this. We're going to keep building. We don't care what happens, and we'll keep trying to like forge partnerships and friends. Yeah. So come back a bit later, dude, when we launch the NFT marketplace. Bruce is on the mic, and I'm going to be relaxing with a kebab. So come back, fella.
Yeah, sure. I'll come say hello later.
Oh, he's a man of few words, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't want to chew the fat right now. So when you were
I'm working and talking. You know, Bbandz. Us guys can't multitask, you know.
No,
he's doing a live stream. He's doing a live stream with Yelena. She's listening to it like on the speaker now. I know he is. He's doing a live stream and you're through the Sorry, I'm only wait. Sorry, do you know? Yeah, wait. The Yelena story doesn't come out yet. Okay. Anyway, guys,
what?
I'll tell you a story in a few weeks, and you'll laugh your head off, right? You'll laugh.
All right, let's get these guests going. Like Siur from Equilibre, ACryptoS. Thank you guys so much. This has been rad. Thank you so much for the information. If you guys want to like do a shout out on the way out,
great space.
Keep crushing it.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys for the invitation, and this was awesome. Happy to jump back any other time, and from time to time, as I said, like we are looking forward to connect PVM and Cosmos as much as possible. So yeah, always happy to talk with you guys. Have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you for dropping by, man.
unbelievable, bro. Absolute pleasure to have everybody up tonight. I was a bit worried because it's not our normal format, and it's been an absolutely massive gig of success. And also, your man's just come up, Brian, to say goodbye. ACryptoS, yeah. Hello, buddy. Thanks for coming back up to say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been a blast.
You enjoyed yourself, yeah? Your man's enjoyed himself, hasn't he? He's like, hey, I love coming up here for a big crack.
Yeah.
Dude, you just pull energy. You guys, you pull energy into the room, and you get like the best out of people by doing that. Like just being like super affable and friendly, and like getting people like all hyped up about themselves. I mean, like tons and tons of different like conversations on Twitter Spaces and the crypto like space are just like yawn, but not with you guys hosting.
Yeah, I agree.
The edit. Oh, sorry, bro. I was just going to say the edit will be like really good. Finn will put we've got a wrap. So Finn will put like the wrap in at the beginning, and then like we'll kick off. But like, dudes, honest to God, we're gonna do this again. Like we'll do it. You know, I don't know, a few weeks, like 6 weeks, whatever down the line. But we have to come together and just like chill, like and chew the fat sometime. And we really do appreciate it. For RAC FM Mind, I want to say thanks to everybody, Mind. You're absolutely class. And Rebekka, you're a right little star, you, Mind. You're proper based.
Thank you, guys.
Rick, we're going to close it out. We're going to close it out. Go on, Brian. What's your last thing that you've got to see on the entire thing with what you're dealing with Kava? Just give me a 60-second closeout why you should continue to pay attention, and then we'll end it.
We got more money to deploy, dude. We have millions to deploy to new developers and new DeFi. So DeFi projects, DeFi-minded NFT marketplaces, DeFi primitives. Like there's so much that can be done. So. And we, come to AlphaGrowth, set up a profile, and we'll get you in touch with Kava right away.
Imagine the smell. Imagine the fucking smell, man. 750 million banging dollars. Jesus Christ, that's going to fucking start some, I tell you what, and we go bull. Oh, yes, I tell you, Don, we're all fucking paying attention now, aren't we? Anyway, guys, we're going to close it out with those beautiful words. I tell you what, we're going to do this again sometime. It's been so much fun, but we have in 2.5 hours or whatever, got the NFT marketplace launch. I need to go and talk to devs, get myself ready. Bruceman, see you later, dude. You're hosting. Don't be a fucking pleb, will ya? Behave yourself.
Of course, man. I'll always just behave myself and be myself. And I'd just like to remember everybody, when you meet a normie that thinks crypto is a scam, that we once also thought that NFTs was a scam.
Can you tell everybody that NFTs are a free mint? Yeah, there's 3 projects launching. The inauguration of the marketplace. There is 3 projects to just test it. We all know we're just going there to test. No one's going to complain. But if you haven't got any hua in your wallet or whatever, just go and grab some. Get on there for a laugh. Please go and grab yourself one of the first 3. Right?
There's going to be some free mints, and there's going to be some very, very limited supplies on the marketplace for sale for like $2 to $5.
Correct.
So be ready, guys.
Correct. Just have some hua and have some fun. It's like, that's all it is, guys. You're going to test like what our devs have built. And like literally, they'll work into the night by candlelight to make sure like whatever happens, etc., etc. Front end, back end. We've got 2 kids that are like the best in the business. And with that, I'm going to end the show and say, for all my trepidation, I've really fucking enjoyed this. It's been an amazing experience. It's one of our greatest, and the Friday shows keep getting better. We did this because we knew the RAC FM later one was going to come, the shit talking one. And this one was a chance for us to reach out, be a little bit corporate, but also, appreciate the work, the grind that people are doing. And with that, guys, I'll see you fucking plebs later.
It's the RAC show coming from the RAC store. Bet is back in the Mac in the backflow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We RAC will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price, giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Larry or with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 110 of these in my backpack. Crazy rack rap from the stash app. Rack will taking lead in this haystack. It's the rack rap from the back lab. 110 of these in my backpack. Crazy rack back from the stash app. Rack will taking lead in this haystack. Blast that rack rap from the stash app. Supplying the raccoons with a headbang rap. Rack gang with the rack will slang like a trash can. Hoodie with fangs and a gold chain. It's either rack will or the red pill. Best chill while we get into the first meal. Best feel, best devs with the best skill. No shill, all real, secret is a great deal. Rack will insane, Shane better stand fast. Robo shooting his tweets with straight facts. Knowledge from the street, with the best plan yet. Winston gotta eat if you retweet that. Free alpha life feed from the base camp. McKenna always ready if you dare that. Buying all raccoons for his rare stash. Trash panda biker gang motherfucking hashtag. It's the rack rap from the back lab. 110 of these in my backpack. Crazy rack rap from the stash app. Rack will taking lead in this haystack. It's the rack rap from the back lab. 110 of these in my backpack. Crazy rack back from the stash app. Rack will taking lead in this haystack.
TerraSpaces.